And so Rahi facing somebody who might actually prefer that it stays on Ceres, because Rahi is facing Tudbak.
Yeah, Tudbak dangerous on that map.
Tudbak is dangerous on that map. The question is, will we have once again a Ceres, or will we go somewhere else? Io or Mars? Io.
First time of the day. All right, fair enough. I can get behind a little bit of Io. I do notice that we've got combo tiles like right next to the foundry.
Yeah, that looks pretty. It's a pretty interesting spot next to a 3 ice too. Also right next to the foundry.
I don't know if it's good. It's interesting.
Robot scientists, nomads, and elites.
I think that's a cave right next to that aluminum iron tile. Oh, that pushes me that way. I mean, there's basalt somewhere on the map, I'm sure. Am I sure about that? Is there basalt on this map?
There's no basalt. That might be the first time I've ever seen that happen on Io.
I've never seen that before. That's so interesting. I didn't know that could happen.
So that actually means that Tudbak's nomad play into this very high silicon is far more interesting than if there was basalt, because that means he'll actually have control of the silicon market for a while, but Rahi does have some silicon right below her found. Rahi going for a traditional robotic opening, going for that high and low iron and uranium tile, and then 3 steel mills.
That's fine, especially she's robotic. That's fine. I'm sure she'll be able to secure aluminum later. I was hoping to see the cave aluminum iron combo tile up there. That would have been pretty.
The black market is online.
That's fine. We can work with the iron uranium. That's going to be all right. I mean, power's going to go nuts this game anyway, right? We've got garages over there. We've got our steel user in Rahi, so
and a robot. So shipping is power.
Yeah. We'll see. I can't object to it too much. Rahi also going to choose to secure a medium carbon right off the bat, as Tudbak was threatening to grab the best of the carbon all to himself. Rahi just going to make sure that does not happen this game.
Rahi did get up to HQ2 first. Tudbak still needs another 4.5k to get there.
Yeah, bounded nomad with those $200
electronics.
Trap to fall into, but you gotta try and avoid it. Yeah, that's one of the 2 reasons I was not a fan of Nomad found. The other one being that there was another solid couple of locations where you could have used steel pretty easily this game.
So this is a very good question in chat. Why is carbon so desired on Io? Well, that's because the garages over here at the colony consume fuel. The way to get fuel is ion collectors, and ion collectors require carbon and aluminum.
Yep. Bucket loads of carbon, too. I mean, that is not a small amount you need.
80 carbon
per collector. Now, the collectors are real strong. That's the other detail, right? Not only do you need fuel, but the ion collectors, once you have them down, are fantastic, because they don't consume anything after that point. They're just a basic resource generator, effectively, that you can put down anywhere.
Where I think I would have liked to see Tudbak go into ion collectors instead of glass kilns, but maybe he's making that same calculation as he's canceling out those glass kilns, going into geotherm, worried about power, and I like to see some ion collectors. That's just good, easy money on the table. You have 100 carbon in the bank. It's $2 carbon.
Oh, the glass comes down now. Rahi's starting to make some electronics. Rahi has an interesting robotic territory right now. That's the word I'm going with. I'm going with interesting. I guess there are adjacency bonuses present on the vast majority of these tiles, but still. Well, that EMP is going to land right on top of Tudbak's glass kiln, so I guess it doesn't really matter what's there. It's not doing anything for the time being.
Tudbak's going to double geotherms. And Rahi just froze out all of Tudbak's moneymakers, and Tudbak, as Cat points out in chat, needs 8k of electronics to get to the upgrade.
And one of his geotherms was just frozen as well. Right side is just frozen. None of it's using power. It's a little bit easier to make power money. The downside is your opponent's already making power money, And on top of that, you have $46,000 of debt. He's actually just canceled out of the second geotherm. Says, never mind, I didn't want to make a power play.
Oh, too indecisive, I think.
Yes, this is a lot of indecision.
A robotics HQ has been
Sometimes
upgraded.
it's better to simply make a decision than it is to hem and haw over which decision is best to make.
And then this game also illustrates one other good rule of thumb, which is don't found first as nomads when electronics are double.
Or just don't found as nomad electronics. I mean, you got to be real careful about it if you're going to found. If you are going to found when electronics are $200 as nomad, you have to have a plan for that. You have to know that's what you're getting into ahead of time. That is one of those critical things you need to check right when you're thinking about it.
Mm-hmm. And then the other thing is, so Tudback went into this carbon, thought it was important, and then never used it.
Yeah, it was important enough to him. I want to point this out, that he founded in a lot of ways what was a strictly worse location than just to the west, except that it had carbon. And it had carbon that could be transitioned into ice. And now that's definitely a great thing in a lot of ways. But if you're not going to use that carbon this early in the game, then it becomes a lot more questionable if it was the correct decision. He's only just now going to get into these ion collectors. Rahi has already been in that market, knocked that price down a little bit. It's just slow plays out of Tudback, partially from the indecision, partially from the slow start of being next to that carbon and not using it at the beginning of the game.
Yeah, going into the 2 ion collectors on HQ2 would have been great. You would have preempted Rahi moving in the market. Sure, they would have got frozen again, but then they'd come back online and they'd make somewhere in the range of the amount of money they're making right now, like 200, 100 and change per tile instead of 42.
Yep. Instant superconductor out of Rahi. I like that, and this is one of the reasons I do like the iron uranium combo tile. You're gonna go bot with it. It's easy for you to suddenly make enough iron to get by in a 1v1, especially off just that one, and it also is providing you adjacency for your nuclear plants. You don't need to commit as many nuclear plants, and the robot can suddenly make such great efficient use of its tiles because of its extra adjacency bonuses that it can really start to pull ahead effectively in a 1v1. And now this superconductor nuclear plant, 4.5 power a second. Rahi still has over a geo of surplus power on this market. Certainly a nice place to be.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, very nice place to be. Almost paid through all of her debt that she gained again. Tudback moving into some chems. Now that fuel's getting knocked down a little bit. Probably wants to move the glass kilns into oxygen. That'd be a nice cheap thing to rotate out that would make pretty decent money. Rahi's making 110 per second down there, but right now Rahi already 67% of the way of the buy onto Tudback. And
is she just gonna go for it? I hope she does.
Why?
Like,
I mean, she's gonna get nanotech.
I don't know.
She would be able to scrap out of her patent lab and make some good money off the electronics there.
And the steel. I mean, that ain't a small amount of cash for that steel either, right?
Yeah. So why not? Why not go for it? 68% of the way there. Has a hacker ray you could scrap out of too. Now the hack's
already
gone
manipulating.
Slow down strike Tudback, so he doesn't have anything to do. Yeah, she has this, she just has to realize that she has this, because Tudback's starting to make money, and that window of opportunity is closing.
No, I want to point out, Tudback has had this button for a while telling him he can upgrade. He has been resisting pressing that button, and that's been really important.
Upgrade and you die. It costs, well, it only costs 17k to upgrade, so it's getting to that point where Tudback could just risk it.
Yeah, maybe he gets one more stock secured. Okay.
A robotics HQ has been upgraded.
All right, Rahi went for the upgrade. Said, "All right, Tudback's I'm just upgrade as well." But still, Rahi was maybe waiting, hoping that Tudback would make that move before, because usually you don't start worrying about that move by until HQ5 when you're looking at FFAs, but in 1v1 you always have to be watching out for it. So Rahi might have been hoping that Tudbak pushed the upgrade a little early and then was able to swoop in, but that is not how this is going to play.
Yeah, but I mean, she could have made it happen by using nanotech on the Pat Lab and the hacker
I
ray,
agree
I think.
with you. I think you're correct. I'm just trying to come up with the explanation. So.
Well, late at night, that's the explanation, right? The built-in.
That's fair. I mean, that's always the excuse, right? That's the best excuse is, look at what time you guys are making me play.
And I'm winning 4 games in a row anyway, despite that.
I know. Oh, man. Tudbak does have the cash to the... We got to make sure that he actually has that on hand. All right, Rahi's actually just going to sell out of it. I like that decision. Get the majority buy. You make the sell out. Go ahead and just take the lead that's there. Put down this weirdly priced space elevator that still costs 200 or something. And then move along your merry way, right? Actually, I don't mind the space elevator this game. 32 on oxygen. Oxygen still has a fair ways down it could go. And that's pretty nice.
And fuel at 30. Not to mention it only costs 27k for Tudbak to put it up. Maybe that's how Tudbak gets back in the game.
Time to start improving everything.
That pays for itself in one launch. How often can you say that on Mars or Ceres?
I'm distracted because Rahi's patent lab has become an optimization center, and she's building a patent lab next to her base.
Okay. That's curious.
Yes.
Players aren't in
Yes,
enough
it is.
Oxygen. Does Tudbak have any oxygen? Yeah, somewhere.
He did not for a long time. He had the ability to oxygen claims, carbon. Let's see, yeah, he has no oxygen.
Yeah, but sitting on top of this oxygen ice right here.
Oh, yeah.
Look at that
he's
price
got
difference.
Ice. He's got the claims for it.
115 for Rahi's solar condensers inside the crater. Only 76.
Those do turn off at night, just like a quarter of each IO day. So that's something to remember about our oxygen. But yeah, oxygen claims are pretty lackluster this time. All right, liquid batteries for Rahi. So never mind. Maybe they don't turn off at night.
No, not if you're Rahi. Hacking water. 2 optimization centers that still... Nope. One is now finished. The other one's still under construction.
I want to say I think both these guys have been playing too much. We haven't seen a train rush this game. I think that could have worked out pretty nicely this time around. The plenty of aluminum available on the map, especially if you were Tudbak, to arrange your stuff a little bit.
I don't know that I quite agree with Cat. 100k lead at HQ4 isn't what I'd necessarily call normalized. Not to mention the patents that Rahi has and is going to get over Tudbak, and then the optimization advantage.
Yeah, I think Rahi still has pretty significant here in every way. I mean, these 2 optimizations, especially, that's definitely a big deal. I mean, Tudbak's optimization center is frozen for another 10 seconds. On top of that, Rahi's a robot. And therefore, as these life support prices go a little bit nuts, because oxygen's kind of expensive and water's a pain to make, and food after that, and it's IO, being a robot just becomes more and more important as we get to these later and later stages of the game.
It's a Tudbak deciding that he must go to HQ5 and must do it now to have a chance at winning, and I agree.
Yeah, seems correct. A little surprised Rahi isn't HQ level 5 yet.
Yeah. 60k for the upgrade.
Comes in now.
Tudbak has a 1 stock advantage, so that's only a 50k advantage in cash on hand for Rahi, but then these patents that are coming through, the optimizations that are already here, looking pretty good if you're our robotic friend over here on the middle of the map.
Alright, transparent aluminum going to come in for Rahi. This hacker idle, which is always just a sad thing to see. Meanwhile, Tudbak is surplusing water, interestingly enough. He is also headed into some farms right now. doesn't want to have to make the water himself, so he'll just make an effort to make Rahi sell it down. I can understand that play. It seems a relatively nice one, and also I can always get behind, of course, the Hacker Ray art pack. Look, it's just so retro and fancy. And it spins. I like it. Alright. Let's see. Dynamite notes the patent lab coming up. That's interesting. So Rahi paying pretty close attention to what's going on here. And has eyes on, I think, the only hologram that's not on a Hacker Ray.
Yeah. Yeah, she spotted that. A little bit harder to do on a Nomad when there's 2 HQs that you can hide your hologrammed building at.
But dude, right back with the dynamite onto. I wonder if he's gonna get this. It's been ahead of it time, as she was the first Bat Lab and decided early on, yeah, I'd really like some transparent aluminum, but let's
13
see.
seconds away.
Yeah. If she were to drop this EMP, she'd have a chance to pick up transparent aluminum. Oh, never mind. Two back with the Goon Squad. That is going to be his patent.
Two bag will take that, and that means that the space elevator now costs 56k for Tudeback to put up 71k for Rahi.
It's pretty pricey for a space elevator.
Yeah.
Just after transparent aluminum, you can tell that these guys have not been flooding that aluminum in FFA. That's especially sad for Rahi, though. She was really setting up transparent aluminum. She had 2 aluminum mines secured. Yeah, one's got uranium too, but about the really was setting up maybe for that cheaper space elevator play. Not going to be available to her anymore, unfortunately. So that will not be her path to victory in this game.
So as Blues and Cat are pointing out in chat, Tudeback currently doesn't have enough oxygen, and that's especially bad because oxygen is the launch. But Tudeback, you can get oxygen. Just rotate these tiles out. Well, they're finally making more money though, the carbon tiles.
Well, I will say his carbon tiles are good for the time being. I think he's actually, when it comes to the oxygen market right now, the carbon tiles are really strong, no doubt about that. That also might give him a location to be hacking, because Rahi has only ever she's secured 3 carbon tiles, but she's left some of them in the oxygen the whole time, and then was forced to go into like an additional lone tile, just a bit odd in a lot of ways. And on top of that, Rahi has been pretty consistent using or selling the oxygen. The oxygen price isn't too bad yet, so I like where Tudeback is at when it comes to that resource right now.
The engineers have advanced our production.
Has Rahi done a single hack with her hacker array?
Let's go look.
Our methods
Yes,
to improve.
she has shorted water and oxygen, and that's it.
Okay, so 2. But it's been sitting there not doing anything for a long time.
Routine successful.
That's
What
true.
if
I mean,
she's
it has been.
Forgotten that it exists.
I think the optimization centers are also idle right now. These things you need to. That
You're
finally
breaking up
weighing
there,
down.
Laura.
That said, I mean, still with a pretty massive cash lead for Rahi, she's still looking to be in a good spot.
Production.
Yeah. Okay, so Tudeback is going to try and race Rahi for thinking machines. Patent Lab is almost constructed, but Rahi's going to have her black market cooldown right
10
back
seconds.
up. If she's on the ball and immediately buys into dynamite and blows it up again, she will get thinking machines. If she hesitates, she won't.
Gone. Tudeback picks it up again. That is another patent going his way that Rahi was after. I don't think she's picked up a single patent since Tudeback constructed his patent lab. That's an interesting little detail of this game. So Tudeback finally headed into that space elevator.
And Rahi says now's the time to buy into Tudeback, and I can't disagree.
Yeah, this space elevator feels like it's coming down really late after the transparent aluminum pickup, especially if you consider the fact that Tudeback is a nomad, maybe not making a solid enough use of those claim returns to develop a good stockpile of aluminum and really push hard into these. That would have been an option available to him. Man, this is a bold decision, especially without adrenaline boosts on the market. It's a bold decision. These two space elevators.
Optimization
next to each
routine
other?
Successful.
Yeah.
Well, so depends if Rahi
All right,
believes that
let's-
they are water processors or not, right?
I guess it does depend on that.
Because there is
Maybe she'll be
no.
convinced.
I mean, she could use the network virus to check.
There are no spies. Never found nomadic if electronics prices kids.
I agree with that
It's not bad
sentiment.
advice. Yeah, not bad advice from Tudeback, although unfortunately for him, a little too late for him to actually act upon it. The patent lab is sitting idle. Now, Rahi, this is going to be her first patent in several minutes. She has not found the space elevators, according to that dynamite. But she's going to grab synthetic meat. That's doing a whole boatload of nothing
Thing.
for her at this point. Yeah.
She can just sell her stock and win it. Cubit points out. That's correct. Tubeck doesn't have enough money. Sell out 3 shares. Hit that buy button.
Market misinformation.
Yeah, winning the game I
elevators.
usually
Won't
So-
do anything.
wouldn't mind seeing it happen here.
And Shirley going to extend her winning streak to 5 games.
Space elevator delivery.
That is definitely what it's looking like at this
Available
point.
To the highest bidder.
Take a. Oh well, Tubeck. Tubeck says, "Never mind. I don't want any more."
I know
Out
I've
of the
lost,
game.
deciding to
it's fine.
concede.
Yep. Man, 5-game win streak in 1v1.
That's
Pretty intense.
quite something.
Yep. Quite a lot. And I get tired about watching 5 1v1 games. Playing them, ugh, stressful.